Has this ever happened to you? You spent seasons or even years cultivating a plant only to find out at harvest time that the juice was not worth the squeeze? If you want to save yourself the time in the future, then this video is for you, because today I'm going to share with you my top 10 heat-tolerant edible plants that I would never grow again. Let's get started. Hi, I'm Christina with Forever Food Forest, a channel where I explore ways of growing food without the use of herbicides, pesticides, or synthetic fertilizers. And instead, I rely on permaculture gardening principles and other natural farming techniques to grow food. Number 1, papalo. If you're not familiar with papalo, let me introduce you to it. I've seen a lot, I gotta stop touching this, it smells foul. I've seen a lot of gardening influencers promote papalo as a heat-tolerant alternative to cilantro. Now, why wouldn't I grow it? First of all, it tastes nothing like cilantro. The taste is more akin to burnt plastic mixed with uncured resin, and the smell is so strong when you touch it that even the bugs don't want to touch it. Although the pollinators do love the flowers, and if I had enough space, I would grow it for the pollinators. But if you're tight on space, definitely it's one of those not worth the squeeze. Number 2, and this one is actually quite popular here in Florida with a lot of food forest designers. It is heat tolerant, low maintenance, and it has really pretty leaves, adding ornamental value. So why would I never grow Okinawan spinach again? I gotta be honest with you. I've had this for 3 years. I've only maybe eaten it once. And now that we are becoming short on space in our food forest, I have to make room for things that I would actually eat. The leaves themselves are not particularly tasty when raw. They have a slight slimy quality similar to okra. And when sauteed and put into something like an omelet, the flavor is just a little bit off, where it kind of ruins the whole dish for me. That's the reason I would not grow this again. And while we are on the subject of spinaches, this brings me to the third plant on the list, and that is longevity spinach. Longevity spinach is another heat-tolerant alternative to spinach. It's also very popular in food forests. It has a ton of medicinal benefits. However, for the last 2 years when I had it growing in my food forest, I could not get a single person that visited me to voluntarily try it. There's something about the hairy leaves that a lot of people find off-putting, especially when eaten raw. And when cooked, the flavor always makes you think that you're eating weeds. Not to mention, it's easy to propagate habit, means that it spreads really fast and can take over your food forest in no time. Number 4 is perhaps the most disappointing. It's a plant that's used to produce a very addictive white powder. Its production actually supported the Florida economy. I am talking about that cane, sugarcane. What did you think I was talking about? Guys, this is a family-friendly channel. Sugarcane was one of the plants that I was looking forward to growing and harvesting for a long time. We had a whole garden bed dedicated to it. The reason I would not grow it again. So here in my hand, I'm holding about 2 feet worth of sugarcane juice that I squeezed by hand. I heard that this is the best thing to drink on a hot day. I like the color. The smell is a little coconutty, a little grassy. Let's give it a taste test. It's not that it's bad. I would say this one is overrated. The amount of work that you have to put in to get this amount of juice, is the juice worth the squeeze? I think not. Unless you have a dedicated press, the juice is not worth the squeeze. And if you do want to use it to make sugar, the process is super long and labor intensive. And lastly, it requires a lot of water and nutrients, resources that I would much rather spend on something that's easier to process. Have you ever grown something that you absolutely regretted planting? That was me with the Barbados gooseberry. Barbados gooseberry is a tropical cactus, not to be confused with Barbados cherry, which is a lovely little tree. My adventure with the Barbados gooseberry started as a tiny 5-inch propagated cutting that was given to me by a very well-meaning Florida gardener. And that tiny cutting turned into a thick, thorny thicket that quickly took over my garden and made it impossible to remove. Because it has these spikes, these thorns, and they go actually in this direction. This direction is a growth, so when you try to pull it, it just digs the claws into you. It's been 2 years, it has not produced any fruit. It's just taken over this whole corner, and it's a real pain to take out. Warning, do not try this at home. Okay, I'm gonna record this. Oh my God, oh my God. Well, that was terrifying. Luckily, no one was hurt. Number 6 is Lipia alba. Lipia alba is an herb that also goes by the name of Oaxacan verbena or Mexican lemon verbena. And it's aromatic, it's pretty, but it's also like that guest that overstays their welcome and never leaves. It does really well in our hot and humid climate, and if given the chance, it will take over your garden beds. And another bonus is any cuttings that fall on the ground easily root and become more plants. And that makes it a real nuisance if you're used to composting or chopping and dropping your trimmings. Okay, get it out of here. Look at how woodsy it got. Very invasive. Was not told that when I planted it. Never take plants that people give you for free. Those roots. Number 7, purple sweet potatoes. Purple sweet potatoes were one of the first things that I grew in my food forest, and I was amazed at how well they did during the hottest part of the year. When it came to harvest, the harvest was abundant, and the potatoes themselves were really beautiful. However, when it came to the taste, I was mildly disappointed. Now, you might have seen these potatoes being touted as superfoods. I could not get over the starchiness. If you're used to the creamy texture of regular sweet potatoes, the texture of purple sweet potatoes is as dry as a 3-day-old biscuit. I have never tasted something that had so much butter and yet tasted so dry. Number 8 is coffee, Arabica coffee to be specific. You want to spend 5 years waiting for a meager harvest? Go ahead. But keep in mind that Florida is not exactly known as a coffee growing region for a reason. If you do want to get your fix of caffeine, try growing one of Florida natives, such as the Yaupon holly, which is one of the only plants in North America that has a natural caffeine content. Now this one's going to be controversial. It's zucchini, and I feel very strongly in my hate towards zucchini. If you like zucchini, why? It's cool as a one-off. Maybe you want to make some zucchini bread, zucchini muffins, and I guess it's all right in a minestrone soup, but if you left it out, would anyone really miss it? And what really annoys me about zucchinis is you either get one really measly zucchini or like 100 of them that you can't even give away. All right, number 10, we made it to the very end. Now, before we move on, make sure to like, hype, and subscribe if you're new. All right, number 10 is going to be Roselle. If you don't know what Roselle is, it looks like this. It's mainly grown for the flowers. The flowers fall off and then you get these calyxes that you can eat. I think this one's almost ready. The flavor is tart and similar to cranberries. They also have a beautiful, dark, rich color. You can use them to make drinks, jams, and teas. In Jamaica, Roselle is brewed with warming spices into a drink that is consumed around the holidays. Why would I never grow it again? Unless you really like cranberries or the flavor of cranberry tea, it's not that exciting. And honestly, it's really stressful to grow in Florida because it will be doing really well and growing vigorously, and then it will rain, it will get a fungal disease, and there goes your Roselle plant. So it's one of those one and done. It's cool if you have it. I mean, I wouldn't cut it down, but once it's gone, I probably will not be growing it again. All right, you made it to the very end. Hopefully this video will help you make some planting decisions for the next growing season. Don't fall for the hype, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.